Welcome to The Awakened Heart, a podcast for healing women, a space where your voice matters, your body is sacred, and your healing isn't rushed or minimized. I'm Autumn Moran, licensed professional counselor, yoga instructor, and neurodivergent woman specializing in trauma and nervous system healing for high-functioning women who look successful on the outside but feel dysregulated, exhausted, or disconnected on the inside. My work integrates trauma therapy, somatic healing, and nervous system regulation to help women move from survival mode into embodied stability, clarity, and power. If you've experienced trauma, late diagnosed neurodivergence, or chronic relational stress, and you're ready to move beyond coping into deep healing, you are in the right place, my dear. This isn't surface level therapy. This is pattern changing, body-based integration work. And you don't have to do it alone. Because I am here every Wednesday bringing you an episode about life, love, neurodivergence, trauma, healing, ranting, helping you just feel good, whatever is calling to me in the moment. I mean, if you're first listening right now, I just finished a late diagnosis series. If you are a return listener, how fun was it? Did you learn about yourself? I hope you have been able to accommodate yourself more. And if you haven't heard, like I said, I just wrapped up a 6-episode late diagnosed neurodivergent series, all about accommodations, burnout, telling the family, the grief, neurospicy terms, just all encompassing neurodivergence, specifically in the ADHD and autism aspect. And I've wanted to say so much more than just the series. Like while I've been doing the series, like I've just been creating a list of topics I want to talk about. But I'm pacing myself. And by pacing myself and not rushing forward and having faith that it's all unfolding in the right time, I just have a list of topics that I'm going to go over that I want to cover between now and the next series I'll be having, which is Healing Sexual Trauma, which is coming in the spring. This episode today, it isn't polished. It's not meant to be neutral. It's meant to be honest. Today, I want to talk about what's been sitting heavy for a lot of us. The Epstein file releases, the lack of accountability, the way powerful people continue to walk freely while victims carry the cost for the rest of their lives. And I want to talk about what's happening politically that directly impacts women, including voter access, the quiet ways power is protected. Most importantly, I want to talk about what we can actually do, not performative outrage, not church-based charity, not billion-dollar organizations outsourcing compassion, real local human action. So first up, I don't think there's a day that goes by that one of my clients are not affected in some shape or form by the Epstein files release. And they were released under the promise of transparency. And technically, yes, documents were released. But what many of us saw was this: redactions, missing names, slow responses, no accountability. People are still in power. And here's the hard truth that people don't want to say out loud. Naming someone in a file does not equal prosecution. That doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it fair, and it sure as hell doesn't make it justice. What it does is remind us of something deeply uncomfortable. The legal system is not built to protect victims, especially when perpetrators are wealthy, connected, or politically useful. So when people say, why is no one going to jail? The answer isn't apathy, it's power. And the people paying the price? Survivors, always the survivors. Justice delayed isn't just justice denied, it's trauma compounded. It's a lifetime of healing while watching your abuser's name get protected. And that should disturb us on a deep fucking level. This is not something that needs to just be flushed out through news reports. This needs accountability and action. And there's been a lot of fear, a lot of misinformation around voting laws lately, especially the SAVE Act. So here are some facts without panic and without spin. The SAVE Act proposes requiring documented proof of U.S. citizenship to register to vote in federal elections, things like a passport, a birth certificate, or naturalization papers. As of now, It has passed the House, it is not law, and it would still require implementation at the state level. Here's where especially married women come into the conversation. If your last name doesn't match your birth certificate, additional documentation like a marriage certificate or passport may be required. So if your name is different, then have the marriage certificate. If that's not, is that automatically voter suppression? Not technically. It is an added burden that disproportionately affects women, low-income voters, and people without easy access to documents. Yes, and that's the part we should be paying attention to. Because barriers don't have to be dramatic to be effective. They just have to be inconvenient enough to discourage participation. This is why staying informed matters. This is why community education matters. This is why we don't disengage just because the system feels rigged. But before we keep going, I want to pause for a moment. If you're listening to this and you feel tight or angry or numb or like your chest is buzzing or heavy, that all makes sense. This is heavy material, and staying present with this is an act of care. So let's come back into the body for a minute, not just to calm down, not to bypass, just to anchor. If you can, put your feet on the floor. If you're driving, just notice where your body is touching the seat. Now gently press your foot, the one that's not on the gas pedal, or feet down, not hard, just enough to feel the contact. Let your legs remember that they're here, that you're here. Take one small breath in through your nose. Let it out through your mouth. No forcing or fixing. Now press your tongue gently into the roof of your mouth, just enough to feel it. This is a simple way to bring your nervous system back online. If you have access, place one hand on your chest or your belly, wherever feels neutral or supportive. You don't need to feel anything special, and I want you to silently finish this sentence in your own words. What I'm feeling right now makes sense because. There's no right answer. You don't need to solve it. Just notice what shows up. If anger is there, let it be there. If it's grief, feel grief. If nothing is there, that's information too. Take one more deep breath. Inhale through the nose. Let it out through the mouth. Reminding yourself, I can stay present without carrying this alone. When you're ready, release your jaws, drop your shoulders a fraction of an inch, and come back with me. Now, from this place of being grounded, not overwhelmed, let's talk about what we can do. Because action rooted in regulation is sustainable, and action rooted in dysregulation burns us out. And regulated action is exactly what I have in mind when I'm creating the curriculum for the upcoming Somatic Healing Group. If you're listening to this and thinking, I understand my trauma, but my body still doesn't feel safe, I want you to know you're not alone. This spring, I'm opening one small somatic healing group. We'll meet Tuesdays from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Central Time, beginning April 21st. Group is limited to 5 women. This will be a 6-week therapist-led group focused on nervous system regulation, embodied healing, and moving out of chronic survival mode. We'll meet weekly for 90 minutes in a structured, intimate container designed for depth and safety. This is all virtual. The full investment is $300, due at enrollment, which opens March 23rd. So you've got time, and I'm going to remind you a little bit before then. So if this resonates, join the waitlist through the link in the show notes so you'll be the first to be able to get in. Okay, so that was my little calm us down mid-episode advertisement so I don't bombard you like I have been at the beginning. Kind of trying a new format. You know, that's what I do. I'm neurodivergent. I'm entrepreneurial. I always want to try to see what works, right? But yeah, I've taken what I had set out as a big goal for group therapy, group support, and narrowed it down to a somatic group to start in the spring. Please reach out if you have any questions, if you're curious and want to know more about it. Okay, so what do we do when systems fail? because outrage without action burns us out. And justice doesn't only live in courtrooms. Justice also lives in how we care for each other. And no, I'm not talking about church-based charity. I'm not talking about massive organizations with bloated budgets that rely on unpaid labor while executives stay comfortable. I'm talking about mutual aid, community care, neighbors helping neighbors. Here are real, tangible things we can do starting right now. Get a homeless, houseless person's car bag in your car. Put together like a Ziploc bag, or just use a Walmart bag. I don't care, just a bag, a bottle of water, some shelf-stable snacks, some good socks, some hygiene items, feminine products, and pet food, because unhoused people love their animals and have animals too. No sermons, no questions, just dignity. Hell, if you've got a couple of dollars, put a couple of dollars in there. You know what I mean? Anything works. It doesn't have to be all that. It can be small. Clothing redistribution. Instead of donating to large organizations, host a free clothing rack day. Put out clean clothes with a take what you need sign. Focus on underwear, socks, coats, shoes. Get a friend together. I don't know if this happens everywhere, but in my area, sports kids stand on the corner of the roads and sell crappy bottles of water to make money for their sports teams. I'm not going to buy your crappy ingredient grabbed water. Give me a real bottle of water and I might pay $1 for it, but I'm not going to do it, and it's dangerous. But hey, if that is able to happen, then you getting up with a group of people, setting up in a parking lot near where the houseless community is and just having freebies for them to go through, you can do that. Walk around, pass them out, be safe, but also go in a group, right? Do some things, but also small. I'm sorry, I got tangential there. Little food pantries. Community pantries work best because they're anonymous, accessible, and non-judgmental. If you can't build one, keep canned goods in your car. Coordinate with neighbors to see if they need anything, how they're doing. Share resources directly with your neighbors, with people. Have resources in your homeless bag if you want to give them resources. Feed people, not systems. Cook a large pot of something simple and nourishing, package it, share it. No applications, no eligibility requirements, just food. Again, get a group of people to come together, make some food, and go pass out food in the park. Mutual aid circles. Start small, a text chain, a monthly meetup, a group that checks on elders, single parents, or isolated neighbors. This is how communities survived before institutions existed. Here's what I want to say directly to women listening. You are not overreacting. You are not too sensitive. You are not crazy for noticing patterns of protection, silence, and dismissal. Your voice, your vote, your presence matters. And I know we can go on this voting and not voting matters. And that's a slippery slope. But it's something we can do, especially on a local level. And your power does not come from proximity to institutions. It comes from connection. When women organize, care for one another, and refuse to be isolated, systems have to respond. Justice isn't just about who gets arrested. It's about who gets believed, who gets supported, who gets fed, who gets protected when the systems fail. If the government won't care for the vulnerable, then we will. If accountability stalls at the top, we build integrity at the bottom. And if you've been feeling helpless lately, this is your reminder. You are not powerless. You are part of the solution. Thank you for being here. Thank you for caring and being who you are. And thank you for choosing action over apathy. This was a short but sweet bonus episode. I know I said I'm not doing bonus episodes, but I felt this was something to be said. I wanted just people to have a place to have a voice that kind of supports what they feel, and to give you some ideas on how to create change in a world that feels like we have no power to create change. If this episode resonated with you, the best way to support this podcast is to follow, leave a review, or share it with a woman who needs to hear it. That helps this work reach more women who are quietly healing. If you're ready for deeper support, I'm opening a small somatic healing group this spring. 5 women, 6 weeks, 90 minutes each week. This is for women who are ready to move from intellectual understanding into embodied safety and nervous system regulation. The full investment, again, is $300. Do an enrollment to secure your spot. Enrollment opens March 23rd. But right now, if you want to take action, you can join the waitlist through the link in the show notes, because spots are limited to 5 women and they will fill up fast. If you prefer individual work, you can book a free 15-minute consultation at the same link. Everything you need is in the show notes, especially a good musical playlist of nothing but divine women singing for divine women. It's all about healing, nourishing, loving yourself, the world, and just healing. It's all about empowerment, and I love it. It's a good playlist. I jam to it a lot. It's my go-to. All right. Until next time, my dears, I want you to know that you are never too much, never too late, and you don't have to figure it out all alone. I'm right here every Wednesday. Maybe I'm going to fix that. May you be happy and free. May our healing ripple outward to bless the world with happiness and freedom. Take care of your awakened heart, and I will see you soon.